All right. So, well, I just want to welcome everybody. We have I think when we were last meeting, I think it was like really, really cold. Correct me if I was wrong. I was like, well, hopefully next month it'll be warmer. I guess warmer is about like 30 degrees, 20 degrees compared to the negative 20 we had last month. So that's always a good sign. So, as Julie mentioned, if you haven't taken your attendance, please do that for us. Um, and let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get started. So I'll just talk a little bit about on slide 7, the important links, just to kind of make sure that we're aware of those. So if you're following along, the slide links were in that email, so you should be able to have them. So, but as far as the important links go, obviously, you have the resources that are listed there is the Zoom, the Google Classroom, and obviously the question parking lot. So if there's something that comes up during our training, we might not have the answer, but we'll try to get you an answer in the near future, whether it's for email or some sort of chat. So, as we've been talking about just with some of the logistics that are out there on slide 8, on some of those things. Obviously, I don't know necessarily if we have to go through all those again like we have, but just kind of be aware that you've all been very good about participating with different things. And if we have enough people, there might be some breakout room opportunities to participate. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to take a look at skip ahead a little bit here to slide 12. So in slide 12, what we are going to talk about for this time around. What are we doing? Obviously, we had a very brief welcome that we just went through. I know many of you are interested in the circuit playgrounds. We're going to talk a little bit about that here just in a few moments with me. And then Risa is going to take us through the lesson investigation and the reflection. And then we'll wrap up and with the alternatives and the wrap up with Janie. So that's kind of what we have in store for us for today. Like with dealing with circuit playgrounds, like I said earlier, sometimes there's kind of some troubleshooting that goes with it. Sometimes there's some frustration that in trying to get it installed and doing that. And I know if you're a tech coordinator, which I know Stacy is, and I know Nate works with tech, everybody works with technology. Sometimes they're just, I don't know, you got to just press the right button and for some reason it works. So if you have frustrations, you're not the only one. So I've been doing this for 3 years and there's just times I just don't know what's going to happen. So, obviously, if you take a look at slide 13 with the norms, I know we've been together since last July. So we pretty well know each other and kind of know what we ask of everybody. And we have a really good, healthy culture of discussion and learning. So I'm just going to take a look here at slide 14. So, as you're going through this, I know that you might say, hey, Scott, you're just going to go through some slides here and we don't really get in depth with some of the other things that are, the in-depth part. That's going to come a little bit more with Risa, okay? So this is kind of like taking a look at, this is kind of what the circuit playground is, a little about its features, and then we'll get into the lesson investigation with Risa. So if you take a look, now we're on slide 15, and this gives you a pictured view of the circuit playground. And it just gives you some of the ideas of what's out there, whether it's the inputs or whether it's the outputs. And, it looks, if the first time I saw it, it looked very intimidating. But one thing that's nice about code.org is they really take you through and trying to understand kind of how everything will work. So, which is good. Another thing that you're going to see here on slide 16, and we'll have some more information about that in the future, but if this is something that you really want to bring to your classroom, which we hope that you do, There's a classroom kit that's going to support 30 students. And it gives you some information there. You might say, well, why am I only going to get 15 circuit playgrounds if I have 30 students? And the reason for that is code.org really emphasizes partner work. So basically for every 2 students, you have 1 circuit playground. That's the reason why. Now, if you have more, I suppose that's good, but at least it helps. What's the advantage of the partner work is that it helps kind of lets the kids kind of have some person to bounce ideas off, so it doesn't always fall on the teacher to answer all the questions. If you go to slide 17, this talks a little bit about the Maker App and Toolkit that you are going to download to your computer, and it talks about just it kind of gives you a glimpse of basically the interface that your students will use. And if I can figure it out, it's pretty user friendly. So let's go ahead and connect to slide 18. And these steps are going to take you through the download process. As I told Kate earlier, if you didn't quite get the circuit playground installed for this evening, that's okay. All right, so I don't want anybody to panic or say, no, I didn't quite get it done. That happens. Just be a part of the discussion and kind of see how things go. And as I said earlier, if things don't go well trying to install this and there's frustrations, I would take a 15-minute break and come back to it. Believe it or not, it seems like when I'm trying to install things on a new machine, I have to do, things just don't always go as planned. So just kind of give yourself a little patience as you work through this. So other than that, we come to slide 19, which is our lesson investigation, Unit 6, Lesson 5. Risa, I believe you are going to be up next. I hope.
I'm curious
Yep.
if everybody got it installed. Were you able to get your circuit playgrounds installed?
Yeah, that's what my question was going to be too. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
kind of feel that out. Kay, you said you kind of were having issues and did not get it installed, correct? Did you hear me, Kay?
You're muted.
Okay.
I'm sure you can all sympathize when you get a different computer. It's just slightly enough different. You don't know where anything is. So I downloaded it. I tried to install it. I'm not sure if it was successful. How would I know?
When we start getting into it, you'll see it'll pop up as a screen that says did not connect and
Okay.
try again or something. So
Here's to hoping.
okay. Stacy, what about you? How far did you get with the circuit board, or do you have one at all, or?
I got the kit, but I have not gotten it installed yet. And honestly, I'm on my home computer. I could certainly get it downloaded onto this. Yeah, I was just happy I opened the box of the kit. I've been kind of crazy at school, so yeah.
Okay.
So that's where my life is. I'm sorry.
No. That's kind of where I want to know, because we'll go into wherever we're at. Does that make sense? Just like the kids, you want to start where they're at and what they know, because then it makes more sense to go from there, or what they've done. Nate, where are you at with it, or is he kind of traveling right now?
He might be.
We have like a building tech that was able to install on our lab. It's been great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So that you have it at school then, right?
Yeah.
You have it downloaded at school. Okay.
Yeah.
That was going to be my other comment about this. When I did it last year with the group, they had some issues because their tech person, it took them like a week to get everything ironed out and connected to what the computers the kids were using and what computers the teachers were using, and to get the circuit board to jive with everything. So keep that in mind. Sometimes those tech things might take a little longer because of security issues and some other things they were running into, that they had to, you know, reset their security issues and permissions and things like that. So yes, and like I said, this, of all of them, this is usually my frustrating sense, because it's not as easy, or the kids will have issues, or you might have, so having these lovely lights and everything, one computer might work and another one might not, and sometimes these are kind of sensitive, so you might have a bad one, and they go into that as well. So with that being said, I was actually looking for I think it's Microsoft actually made a digital copy of this, so you can download that. And I don't know if that is in the, I don't know if I put it in the PowerPoint or not, but I can get it to everybody.
Is it the make code?
Say it again.
Is it the make code?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
called Make Code. I think it's makecode.org or whatever.
Yeah, and you don't have to download anything. No, it's
No.
on your browser. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
So
one.
if you, that's it. Thank you, dear.
I am more dangerous than you guys you realize. Okay, there you go. It's
I
in the
love the
chat.
tech support in the background. Thank you. It just makes my life easier. This is, yes, Make Code, and it is actually a Adafruit digital copy of the circuit board.
Yeah,
And I was kind of
it's-
messing with it last night, so it basically has a different kind of blacks coloring a little bit. Yeah, so this might be an option if you know, have a situation where you know, either don't have these or they're not working, or you want to try this as a different one.
So what's nice about this, and I dabbled with this just a little bit because I can, it will simulate, and so you can run it, you know, just like the Microsoft, like the microbit on Make Code too. And then you can also if you download, when you make a program, you can download it to your Circuit Playground, but it has to be the Circuit Playground Express, I think. I don't think it works on a straight up Circuit Playground.
Yes, I think I read that where it said that was the glitch about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some YouTube videos out there about the techie part of it. So yeah,
it is super fun. I do. So I have dabbled in this a little bit. So yeah.
awesome. Okay, let's go to screen
Quick
20
question,
then.
do we have a express or do we have a regular?
It should say it on the bottom of the circuit. And I think most of them are the express. So
It's on the packaging, it says Circuit Playground Express. So good to know.
In this lesson, they actually want us to do it a little different. Instead of our, you know, put the teacher learner hat on, we're just going to go with putting a teacher hat on. So in that sense, what they mean is look at it from the teacher's point of what the students will be seeing. Okay, so you're not going to experience it like a student. You'll be going into it as, hey, you're the teacher. How would you present this? Or how do you think you would use this lesson? Or how do you think, you know, this unit of the Circuit Playground should go? Okay, next screen. You're on 22. Yep, so it's just the warm up. Okay. First prompt then. I did have some things based on what you already know about this board. How do you think you might use it to get input? Display the Circuit Playground inputs slide and refer to that. Yes, there's the next slide, the input. And actually, yeah, do you want to go to present mode, Julie, a minute? There you go. And then it just actually clicks through them. So the top of it is where your USB fits. So I have a pink cable right now trying that. And it goes into the top of the circuit board. So it's coming in to that. So the app lab fits on there. You have a light sensor. And I was gonna say, I think I'm gonna try and turn this off because it's so hard to see on the screen. I'm gonna try and show you, but this is, yeah, so you'll see these little lights. One's a light sensor, one's a sound sensor, one's a temperature sensor, accelerometer, and then we have some other added buttons and switches, and a touch sensor. Okay, those are the inputs. So I know I've seen the little, when you go to that maker, code maker site or whatever, you've had kids where they can actually put this near like a light and it will stop or go or whatever your command is. So you're getting inputs, do the problem solving kind of thing, and your students can build whatever that they need from these inputs. So it could be a light sensor, sound sensor, temperature, accelerating, and so forth. Okay. Next. So we'll go to the activity, which is, let's navigate to Unit 6, Lesson 5. Starting on level 2. I'll give you a minute to get there. And these are called board events. Oh. Board events should be the title. So, yeah, this is what it looks like. Go ahead and read the instructions. On the board, so it's talking about this board, and you can allow you to start taking inputs from your circuit playground. Look at the program with a partner and discuss that what you think it'll do. And once you've come up with your answer, click run to check your answer. I'm gonna try and so go ahead and try it and see. Sometimes it's so yeah, mine, it says run, and it didn't go, run without the board. So with this, you'll have buttons, and one says button L, which is the left and right. And you can, yeah, I was gonna say, are you getting yours to work, Julie, or is that?
Mine is not working. I mean, but I don't have one plugged in because I obviously did not prepare for tonight.
Well, I was gonna say, I can share my screen, but mine is doing the same thing as what yours is doing, Julie.
Is
So
anybody having success?
I got the circuit board plugged in again, but it's not, yeah, it's not showing up on there. Scott, do you have one that's working on your computer?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Nope.
let's just keep looking at we'll just keep going because then it talks about going to level 3. Could you click?
Where did me to go? Sorry.
Yep, just go to the next screen and it talks about going to continue reading levels 3 and 4. And then click the key concept tab to view the mini rubric. So as a teacher, this is more of a creative mode for the students. You know, they get to develop, you know, can they play with the thermometer or the temperature gauge, or can they play with the light or the sound? I know when my middle schoolers last year did this, the sound thing was like, they loved it, but it was kind of annoying after a while. So maybe set some parameters on that. Was there yeah, so the key concepts, you can kind of see a mini rubric and kind of base it on evidence. So external evidence, did they find an input? Did they have an output? And it's more on just is what the rubric was called, but I've come up with other rubrics on, you know, did you have did you use one input and could you make one output as a simple one? And then the next one might be a little more, you need 2 inputs and 2 outputs or something. Okay, just as kind of an idea. Okay. Do you want to go to, yep, 3, 4?
Keep going?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So with this, it's what we've learned about the boards so far. It's just basically the inputs and getting those together. But when you guys went through some of your lessons real quick up to this, what were some of your takeaways? I'll start with. Like Stacy, you just got yours, you said, in the mail. So you got to open the box.
Right. I honestly got it, was excited, looked at it real fast, and then went, oh, I've got this, and this to do. And so honestly, didn't dig into it as much as I would have liked to if I didn't have to do all those things. But I guess one of my takeaways, it looks like it's using all that programming language that we started to look at. I guess one of my big things is I just have not had any time to, either for myself or for my students. I feel like we're so crunched on time and that this is going to take quite a while. So I guess my big thing, and I don't know if this fits here or not, but I just don't know what, or would they be ready to jump into this? They know inputs and outputs. They've done some things with web design, but I would love for them to actually do something. And so I guess that's where my brain is going, is could I actually use this year, or is this a pipe dream and should I wait until next year? I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what are you thinking, or what were some of your big takeaways about the board
You
event so far?
know, I'm getting to the point where I'm a second year teacher. I'm getting about to the end of the material that I covered all year last year. And I'm not sure if I can do this with fly by the seat of my pants. I'm thinking this might be a summer prep for next year. Not sure.
Right, right. Or it could be one of those things the high flyers might get, right?
Yeah, it might be.
And then give them the time to work on it. Because that, you know, being that lead learner with this, that's where I learned the most, is when the kids started messing with these. It was like, where'd you find that? And they're willing to show you. And it's, you know, like, oh, okay, just put that out there. The board's kind of cool, and the kids can really get into it too. So be that lead learner too.
I've seen so much when the school, you know, like we've done the cyber bots, and the schools that took those back, and it was just so cool, you know, like the teachers were there was a couple teachers who weren't super comfortable at all, and we'd give them homework because we were still doing webinars, and they'd be like, yeah, I took a homework back and gave it to my kids, and they figured it out with me, you know. I mean, it was really cool because they like that hands-on, you know. It's such a move from the you know, we're just typing on the computer to the hands-on, and the hands-on is my favorite. I just think it's magic. And so but I just jump, so sorry guys.
Okay, Tina, where are you at with the board events or the circuit board so far? Did you kind of came in later, so we didn't get to talk to you. Did you get a board? Do you have a board, or? Oh, you're on mute, Tina. Sorry. There you go. Oh, now you went to mute again. Okay. Oh, now I hear you, Tina.
I haven't gotten too far on it either.
Okay. Did you, are you thinking about getting it or not, or don't know, or?
I'm working on it, yeah. But
Okay.
it may or may not happen this spring. I'm not sure.
Yeah, totally understand. Yeah. And you kind of missed the comment when I said, you know, this is one of the more frustrating units of the code.org discovery for me. And it was because, one, I would agree with Kay, this is not as fly by the seat of your pants as I've had with other lessons that kind of like, you know, they just step the kids right through it. It's just like, read this, do this. This is a little more, you know, it's got to be working before things start to really click. Otherwise, once it's working, it's pretty straightforward with the rest of the code.org kind of stuff, you know, put this here, put this there, and then push your buttons on your circuit board. So just giving you, even though it might be frustrating and it might take a while to get it set up, there's the benefit of the hands-on stuff as well. Okay. Did Nate get back, or there's Nate? Where are you at with stuff? How are you using? Do you have the circuit playgrounds?
So yeah, so that I didn't have any students drop my elective computer class, I started with robotics, and we had the Edison robots, we did the Adafruit, and I also got some microbits. Like I was able to use AP funding to monkey around with microbits during, I don't remember if it was principles or programming. It was it's unclear to me, but we got them in there. It's awesome. I actually got too many of them, so if they ever break down, I've got extra. I could even share with other classes, so they could all have one if they wanted. But so yeah, we had this. I had I think just 2 days explore and discover. I call it explore and discover day, and I give them just the website they need to go to, and I just let them go. I say to them that I have no answers for you. This is new to me, like it's new to you. So I want to see what you come up with, and this one kid completely disobeyed the rest of my orders for the week and kept using these, and very high functioning autistic kid, and I was okay with it because he was engaged. He wasn't not doing anything. Like, from what it seemed like, that's kind of what his mode is. If he's not interested, he's done. So he wired in on these, and he made two of them. They actually interact with each other. This, when you turn it on, I don't know if you can hear it. I'm gonna put it really close to my mic and see if you can hear. Do you hear that? It went da 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 da. Okay. One is a case. One has a case, and one does not have a case. But I think it's the left button will shoot at the other one. So when you shoot it, I don't know if it's gonna show up very well. You can kind of see. I'm gonna shoot this one. And this one goes da 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 da, meaning it got hit. All the lights around the outside are hit points. I shoot him again. He's shooting with this one. I missed. Now I'm gonna line them up. I got a hit on this one, and I just keep shooting it. And I can rapid fire it. You can even hear that it's shooting. I think you can. Oh, I have to hit the right button to reload. He even programmed it to reload. I was like, Ian, what are you doing? This is fantastic. And you hear the pew pew.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Star
kinda hear
Wars
that.
pew pew. Kind
Yeah, totally. And I want to get to the end. And then once you're done, it goes da, 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 da. So I haven't had like a full unit with these yet, but like I think we just have to. We just have to do this.
So how
before.
did you? Yeah, I was gonna say how long were you on it then, or how long did you let them discover? You said 2 days.
This guy, yeah, this guy took
This
the
guy
full-
probably went a week or so, huh?
the full ad drop time, 5 days. He was doing this, which was fine because I'm community building with the class, and as soon as that's over, and he had very little patience for the social interaction part of the week, but he would do it because he's still respectful. He's older now. He's a senior, and so yeah, I just said, Ian, if you would rather do the Adafruits, he's also in like my ad room and my animation class and my exploring computer science class. So he took all of the things he possibly could, and yeah, everyone else they made the. I think they did the falling one. You can drop it and it'll go. They had some doing that. I don't remember if it was this one or the Edison. They played the Happy Birthday song. But you guys have to keep in mind, I'm offering discoveries parts of it to high school students because I'm 9 through 12 at Roosevelt. So that's how it was easy. I think it's easier for high schoolers to explore and discover. So I think I did have a junior high class, 1 period a day for 6 years. I don't know. You could probably do an explore and discover and see what they do. It's going to be chaotic. And the second day they're going to come in, and before you give it to them, there will be a buzz. If you've ever had that, that's quite a fun feeling as a teacher, because they're talking about these things, nothing else. They're talking about these. Oh, today I want to try this. Some of them will even go to the website and they'll just keep poking around, and then they can't wait to get their hands on one of these. But yeah, I think the tactile is the best.
Did you use Make Code for them then when you had them do that? Did you use the Microsoft Code site?
Yeah.
Okay. This is so fun.
Yeah.
Guys, are you gonna go back and use your Adafruits tomorrow?
Yeah, just dive in.
Yeah, I want to try and see if they work on the ones at school. Obviously, I'm having some issues with my home computer, and it's not not working, but yeah.
Oh no.
So,
Yeah. And do you guys get the cases too with yours? There's like some clear cases that snap onto the.
no, I got a bag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got those, and then I got a separate bag full of these like plastic cases.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it protects it. So if you do the dropping thing, it has a protection. And then this one is what I think we would get. You guys got these, I think. Express. And it says Express on there.
Where did you order yours from that you got the cases? The Adafruit?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I
Okay.
have no idea. This box showed up and I don't remember ordering them.
Okay.
must have been a good idea, I guess.
Always. Okay. Good touching base with where everybody kind of is at. Well, here's the prompt. It says, after reviewing the information in the help and tips, is there anything in addition to what you have already written in your journal that you would like to remember about the board events before moving on? I think we kind of covered a lot of things. I didn't have you journal necessarily. We're just kind of open discussion because there's kind of a smaller class size here. So go ahead, and this is what we're going to do next. Go ahead to 30, Julie. Oh, did you skip 30? All right, I'm just going to give you some teacher time now to read through levels 5 through 7, and then write a response on the following prompts. And then go ahead and complete levels 8 and 10. And then just kind of more or less look at the help and tips and those kind of things, physical inputs, and then what you're producing as your output. I think it said to give you like 12 minutes. Am I right with that, guys? Scott, if you remember or not, or Janie? Can we go with 6 minutes for the first one and 6 minutes for the second? So 12 total, Julie.
Do you want them in
Everybody's-
breakouts? Do you want them in breakouts, or are we gonna leave them together? I
Let's,
could put them all in a breakout, and then they can talk
yeah, I
about
was gonna say, why don't we just go to a breakout?
it. Okay. I'll put you guys in a breakout real quick, and we'll give you 12 minutes.
Like breakout of 2s
Yeah.
in pairs?
All right, guys. So 12 minutes, and you'll come back. Okay. Bye.
So let's kind of go on to reflection. No, hold it. Are you? Yep.
Here.
Yep. Well, I was gonna say, let's go back to 34. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We went through 5 and, hang on, I was gonna say 5 through 7 and then 8 through 10. Covering the toggle switch, covering the buzzer. Yeah, 5 through 7 was the buzz or the toggle switch, and then 8 through 10 was the buzzer. So I gotta say, well, with some buzzing. Can you guys hear that? But Nathan's demo of the, was so much better. All right, now let's reflect and discuss. We can kind of do this as a group, or if you want to look at 35, that has some spaces that you can write for the breakouts. I want to say I'm clicking and it's Julie's running the screen.
Because Nolan's gonna come visit soon.
All right, you will go into a breakout room to discuss and respond to the reflections. Refer to the slide after your breakout room slide for a definition of the level type designed to your breakout room and where the level type appeared in lesson 5. Have a volunteer from the small group should be prepared to briefly summarize what you discussed in your breakout room. So if you guys want to kind of go and the same breakout rooms is what I was thinking. Does that sound okay? What we just did, but if Leela wants to be in one of them. And then fill out 35. What in-person implementation challenges do you foresee in using the circuit playground device in your classroom? And how can the predict level support students in learning to use the circuit playground? So let's just kind of pause and reflect as a teacher. Remember I said this one's going to be more as a teacher. Let's look at, you know, how are you going to present this or use this with your students? Nate, I liked what you were saying in the sense of get the kids and just have a discover, not necessarily, it might look a little different in middle school. I know I don't have them do 2 days, but I do let them do some discovery kind of learning and let, you know, the kids that are more of the high flyers in the sense of they want to learn that code, they got the code stuff down and they want the hands-on stuff, let them kind of go. So maybe what in-person challenges do you see? You know, is technology going to be one? Probably, in the sense of, like I said, the security issues. What do you guys up? What else do you see? Maybe you can just type in that screen 35 as a group. What do you see as some of the challenges with the circuit playground? And I know some of you guys said, yeah, it's just I might need 2 weeks to, you know, look at it before I even start. And we only have 10 weeks left of school, right? So, or is it something that, okay, I know you said you're gonna wait for summer. You just wanna make sure they get through stuff and then maybe start summer stuff or. Good, we should be on 35 and I see a few typing things going on in there. Yeah, that's true, Kay, about some kids are very much hands-on and others like, oh, don't touch it, don't touch it. That can be a challenge. Good, yeah, good point. Time left in the year. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Use the predict as a debrief instead of just a jump in, kind of break it down, a little more chunking of it or whatever.
The comment about track makes me cringe because I remember those days of when students would all be gone for track meets. Like, oh, I forgot there was a track meet today. Now they're all gone.
Or golf, or FFA, or something else. Seems like the spring's really bad for that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
Good stuff, but challenging.
And if you have my students, as soon as like 5 people are gone, they go, "Can we have a study hall?" No. No.
Or what's worse is when there's a track meet going on outside the junior high classrooms. And the principal says, close the shades. If
Yeah.
any student asks about it, please don't talk about it. Redirect the content. You know how kids are, they sense what's going on outside. So
Yeah, mine were really
that can be a challenge to the circuit.
Yeah, mine were really squirrely today, and I think it was like the weather, you know, the barometer. But I have 8th grade, and for the first couple weeks of the semester, they couldn't follow instructions to save their life. They just couldn't settle down. And I had to start just giving them one step at a time and walk in the room. And I thought, I'm walking around the room thinking, if I ever have to hand out a bunch of little things and have their little hands put it together, I am going to have to jump out the window. But now they're calm. They're doing much better. So, because I could see if there's a set of something, like I could see them like dropping one on the floor, you know, losing something or not following the direction or something, but they're getting better. So.
Do you want me to move us, Risa?
Yep, I was gonna say, that looks good, the predict level. I think we covered that well. The predict levels prompt students to actively engage with working code before coding for themselves. A goal of a predict level is for students to read the code and think of how it's working. I guess I really see that as a good thing too, because it's kind of like they do that in the code.org curriculum. It's like, what is this going to do? Think through it. And then the kid is, you know, the student is kind of trying to think in their head what they've learned so far and implementing those to how it's being used. So yeah, big in lessons 5 in that sense. Okay, the programming level. You see, why don't we go to slide 37? Yep, the programming level. Are there things in that you guys see as a implementation challenge when it's the programming level? Are they, you know, usually they're targeted with a task and they're focusing on a specific skill because they're trying to program maybe for the button to do something. You know, is this button moving? Is it turning off or on? You know, what are some programming challenges that you could see with the circuit playground? And like they said, they're highly scaffolded at the beginning, right? They're, you know, move this button here, put this here, and then as it goes on, they're less scaffolded, and then they're more, you know, put the button where you want it, or what color do you want to change it to, you know, in that programming level. How can you support the students with those kind of implementations or creativity? Because yeah, you'll have the students that love to be creative and love to try things. I had one student that he designed like an app to it looked like Angry Birds. I don't know if he used Angry Birds or not, but he was, you know, jumping through that on the app. And then the circuit board, he was creating some goofy sounds with that. So the programming can be a challenge, but I like that. Nothing breaks in the software. Yes. Yeah, that's good too. Test as you go. That can be kind of monotonous for some kids too. So maybe that might be a challenge on the other side. You know, oh, we have to download it again, or if it's working on the screen. That's why I liked what you were sharing with Julie before, the Maker program, that you can kind of test it as you're redo. Yeah. Maker code program. Yes, thank you. True, that connecting the blocks with each other, the drag and drop, that can be kind of tricky. That can be. And I know I had some students, they couldn't get that the little key shape or whatever to line up, and then the block would fly away or whatever. So that can be a challenge. Good point. Oh, use an iPad, yeah, and the big drag and drop. Is it bigger on the screen on the iPad than Nate, or do you have an iPad there?
No, I'm not really sure. I just took mine to school. I usually leave the school ones at school, but we looked at. I brought in the enterprise drone the other day, and maybe I left it at school. But I've gone out to there to. You just can't download your code to your. You can only code on the iPad, so you'd still have to move their programs to a computer. But
Okay,
they can still drag and drop, which is neat.
okay.
I don't remember if it was bigger or not.
When you said because they had disabilities, I guess I was thinking maybe it was easier for them if the iPad, it was bigger or something, or.
Yeah, like they could still run the preview on the side, where they have the board off to the side,
Yeah,
and press the buttons with just their fingers. But yeah, very few of them period to use a desktop, so they would be able to just tap on light, put in graph, do it forever.
and there's Julie with Julie with the iPad. Cool.
Yeah. And I mean, you can zoom it, which is nice if you need to.
Okay.
So, good times.
All right, the next screen. Or do you guys want to share any more about the programming part of it? think we covered that. Now, go to, yep. We kind of talked about that, scaffolding. Now let's go to the assessment. So what are some things in the assessment that you might find as challenging? So, okay, your kids are working on this. How do you assess them? How do you put that grade in there, right? What are some challenges you can foresee with this? And that's with any hands-on kind of activity. You know, are you going to have a rubric? Are you going to have a baseline of they need to have a certain amount of things accomplished, or will there be some gallery reflections, maybe even by other students? I've had that where they walk around the room and look at what others have programmed, and then they can go back to theirs and tweak theirs a little bit. So it wasn't really an assessment by the teacher. It was more an assessment by other students, and kind of that art. I threw in kind of an art critique, and that was more of a, hey, I think you can improve on your own because you can see what others are doing now. So anybody else have any ideas? Okay, Nate has a formative one, drop in the bucket note card or sticky note. Or we've called them exit tickets, or parking lot. I use Post-it notes on parking lot, big tab board or whatever, and they have to put, you know, something they learned that day, or list two things. More of a formative as well, yeah. Good, yeah. Question of the day, I like that.
I like the Google Classroom feature too, or the Google Classroom question feature.
Stacy, did you type that in? Is that the, I have never used that, Julie, so what, or maybe I'll let Stacy.
I didn't. I think maybe Layla maybe did. I was actually going to add to that with the question feature. I've used the private comment often just to see where they're at so they don't have to share with everybody. Sometimes it's nice, especially if they're struggling, to know where they're at. Then I can kind of see, then I just see it. So I was gonna add that in there, but I kept moving hers around, so sorry.
So the question
Like-
one is great. I use it a lot because you can set it up so that students can see each other's answers or they can't see each other's answers. And it's I like it just because it can be, you can use it as an assignment too. So it's just a nice.
Okay, so kind of like an exit ticket, except it's just on Google Classroom, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's more, it can be more asynchronous, you know,
Yeah,
type of thing.
so
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that's my win for the week. I tried something new and the kids said they like doing it that way. So, hey, let's roll with it. Thanks for the feedback.
Okay, did you shed a tear when that happened? That never happens for me. I mean, maybe you need to take my place. That never happens. So awesome.
It's rare. It's those little wins that keep us all going, right?
Yes, yes, that is true.
I love that. That's so awesome.
Some of their ideas were programming levels to assess students' mastery. So you might check them at certain levels. The purple bubbles with the check marks and maybe mini rubrics or whatever. Okay. Do I see more typing on 39? Let's bounce to 41. This is kind of the last one, and this is more of the just helps and tips tab. Were there any takeaways, challenges using that, or supports or whatever that you can see help the students learn to use that, the helps and tips? Yeah, I can see that, Kay, good. Rather ask each other because yeah, the helps and tips, you can kind of go down a rabbit trail with that quite easily. There's a lot of information that they put on those screens and those links. Because all of a sudden you open it up and it's like, oh, you can, you know, have 40 different game concepts or lab concepts or JavaScript, or I'm looking at it right now, HTML, CSS, the patterns, data library, and that's just the headers on the information, right? So yeah, they can totally get.
Wouldn't it be so nice if they would have a searchable help feature?
Yes. I'm going to add that to my send to code stuff.
You know how Microsoft has those like the light bulb and then the box, and you type what you're looking for in there, and then it kind of gives you some suggestions. I think the kids would be more likely to use it. Right now, when you click on the help and tips tab, it's like, oh good, I can read a book about each one of these topics. It's a little overwhelming.
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Code.org is extremely transparent in how they make things better. Like, so one of our last sessions, we were kind of confused on one of the lessons. And I actually reached out to code.org and they're like, we're going to fix that for you because it is confusing the way that I think it was representing numbers. And so I actually they sent a PDF or a link to the next year's lesson so that it's fixed, quote unquote, based on feedback by teachers. So I thought I would just throw that little plug in there real quick.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I have found, I don't even remember what I responded to them or asked them, and yeah, they respond back and they usually correct or fix or change or want more input or modify. So yeah, don't be afraid if you see something like this, Kay, where yeah, that if that could be searchable, that would be so much more helpful. I found my students actually going to the, now I'm gonna mess up what the name of it's called. Is it W3 schools? Does anybody else use that? Yeah. Just, and they could search it easier that way than this, so, yeah. So for me, yeah, to help support the students, I kind of see it as give them tools and whatever works for them. If it's friends or neighbors, or if it's W3 schools, or if it's, yeah.
All right, Risa, are you
Yep.
good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of speed through the alternatives to Unit 6. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you, Risa, because that was really nice. I appreciate you kind of taking the time to go through each thing. But so you guys know, Unit 6 is, we can kind of go some different routes with it. Like you already saw Risa and Julie jump ahead a little bit and talk about the Make Code Adafruit Studio, where you actually don't even need one of these little circuit boards. So that's pretty cool. But a couple things that to just know that in Code Studio, they did give a couple, it's okay, Julie. You don't need to apologize. But it's really awesome that they have these alternatives, because we have all been there in the past where your school says, yeah, go ahead and teach this, but we're not going to supply it, or we're not going to give you the money to purchase what you need to teach the course. So since code.org, like they've already dealt with it. It's like now they have it all online with Microsoft, and it's pretty wonderful. So just a couple notes, because we're not going to have time to go through these, but the code.org units, it's all in Code Studio. They're going to separate it like, you guys know your students, so you can pick and choose what you think is best, but they still have suggestions like, hey, we're going to do the debugging, or we're going to watch a video together. And then on your own, you're going to do X, Y, and Z. So that's really helpful. So let's go ahead and move to the next one. But again, that's in Code Studio, so you can still utilize all the features Code Studio has for you. With the second one, the Make Code, that's actually completely separate, although it's the same. I mean, how do I explain that? Like, you don't use your code.org login, for instance. It's a completely separate curriculum, but it's not a part of code.org, even though they obviously go hand in hand. So go ahead and move on to the next one. I'll explain that a little bit better. So again, with these three options, what we were going to do is separate into breakout rooms. But like I said, for the lack of time, so Julie, if you don't mind just clicking on 47, I linked each of the options. So with the event-driven programming unit, this is right in Code Studio. So again, you can decide as a teacher how you want to teach Unit 6. I know I'm kind of veering off course a little bit, but for those of you who are deciding or are flexible enough, I recommend, or I mean, Code Studio, just, how do I say this? Unit 6 is very heavy in the programming side, and so is Unit 3. So it's pretty difficult to have a student join your class or have just a class on Unit 6 as a standalone per se. So can you scroll up, Julie? Well, let's just, we could click into one, but I would recommend that you guys kind of do this on your own time. But it's App Lab, it's in Code Studio. So again, they're used to seeing the same thing that they've seen before in unit number 3. So yep, go ahead and jump back to the slides. The Turtle programming unit, you could click on there. This is very cool. It's new and I love it. I mean, I haven't really dove into it, but it's very artsy fartsy kind of like if I want to do these graphic, like really cool, I don't know what the word is for it right now. I'm kind of running on empty with coffee is my go-to thing, and it's really wearing out at this time of night. But this is just very, it almost opens up that more creative side on the student side of things. So with these alternatives, the way code.org used to have it, they didn't have any of these. Like they would do extras, but it wouldn't necessarily be for the entire unit. Okay, so then finally, the make code, there's the Adafruit Circuit Playground, and then there's also a curriculum side of things. So as a teacher, you can actually go through their curriculum for this unit. And this is awesome. This is amazing for those of you that are stuck at home or students that are stuck at home, that you're not physically in your classroom to have the circuit board. And again, if your school doesn't pay for everyone to have one or whatever the case may be, it's making it extremely accessible for our students. Awesome. So those are kind of the 3 little takeaways. So let's go ahead and jump to slide 48. So I'm just going to throw this plug out there. If anyone is using slides as like kind of ways to communicate with your students, you could have students express their emotion by using the emojis. Like when you all got here tonight, I could have said, all right, everyone throw an emoji in and let's see how we're doing. Chat box, you can have annotations. And that's what I was planning to do for this next part. Slide 49 is the introduction to each thing. So we're not going to have time for this, but I didn't go through this. So with the event-driven programming unit, very programming heavy. This is when it's awesome to have experience in unit number 3, because as a student, if I've never programmed before, it's very difficult to just all of a sudden know what a variable is. So there was a school that actually decided to split up Code Studio into like 2 classes. So they did unit number 1, unit number 3, and unit number 6 all together. And then another class did unit number 1 and 2 and 4, I believe. 5 is very standalone. I mean, it can be very flexible, but like I said, unit number 3 and unit number 6 really go hand in hand. Let's go ahead and jump down to slide 50 and actually 51. So 51 is the turtle programming. So again, digital artwork, abstract patterns. We're using loops and random numbers. Very, very creative is kind of the main theme of turtle programming. And then finally, you can just briefly go over slide 53 with these projects on the, basically instead of using the circuit playground, we're now using the electronic circuit playground on your computer, just using a website. All right. So I'm so sorry to just throw all this at you, but I just want to remind you, if you click in here, Julie, where it says modifications for all units in computer science discoveries are linked in the lesson plans, this is so cool. And also the teacher forum. Don't forget about the teacher forum. People have really been adding things in on how to make it work for this crazy year. And it's really helpful. Like I said, I went in and I visited with the Slack channel, and they were like, here, we're redoing that activity for next year. And it's already 100 times better than what we tried to do the other night. So right here at the very top, there's all of those socially distanced or virtual setting modifications. I'm like, whoa, how cool of them to put that together. So definitely peek at that, especially those of you, maybe you're a mentor for somebody who's really struggling to come up with the ideas because of students in quarantine, or because of your district and the rules that they're laying out for you and how you have to run your classroom. But we don't, like I said, we just don't have a lot of time for this document. But really quick, did anybody have any things on the question parking lot? I feel like it's pretty empty. So if there's anything burning right now, go ahead and throw it on there, and we can at least get to it next time. I know we're really cutting short on time. Right? Are we done at 8:30 or is it 9?
We're done at 30.
We're 1 minute over already, you guys. And there's nobody in the question parking lot, but I see some in the chat. So Nate added a few things. Scott added a few things. Oh, this is awesome. You guys are right on par. So really quick, in the last slide, there is a survey that we would like you to take. And I just have to giggle because we're all like, this is not very common where we have a cohort like this that are just in the thick of this. Usually by now, I mean, people are just now getting their administrators on board, or they're just now finishing up a unit. And you guys are just, I'd really give yourself a pat on the back. This is pretty incredible what you're doing in these classrooms. And just remember, keep it flexible, stay with what works for you. Don't be afraid to try new things and just implement that lead learner attitude. And thank you, Julie, for throwing the link into the chat. And oh, here we have a question. So Kay can't find the question parking lot, and I apologize, I should have sprinkled that in the slideshow. The code turtle programming, I threw a link right there on slide, I want to say 51, is it? And it's also in unit 6. It's linked directly in the lesson plans. Okay, oh good, thank you. I'm like, where are you at, Kay? I don't see you on my screen. I saw the thumbs up though. Excellent. So for the sake of time, I am going to honor where we're at in time. So if you need to leave, this is definitely, this is your time. And it was just, we had too much of a good thing going on. So I didn't want to stop any of that conversation. Are there any other questions right off the top of your head, everybody? Or anybody? It's so quiet. Like if you wanted to hear.
I'm gonna go play with my Adafruit.
Great.
I'm scared to accidentally have mine buzz because my son is asleep and he was being so fussy, so I don't want to wake him up. But you guys, I really miss being in person. This is one of my